at Simplifi. Simplifi has been doing a lot with Media Post over the past couple of years online, sponsoring a lot of our newsletters, our content there, as well as many events just like this. So we're thrilled to have their input today. Tom Connelly, the head of sales for the Northeast of the United States, is with us today. Tom, are you there, my friend?
I am here. Can you hear and see me?
We can hear and we can see you. You look great. How are things with you?
Things are great. I was just thinking the last in-person industry conference I was at was this very event in 2019 out in Montauk. So I hope everyone's having a great time out there at Gurney's.
The only difference, Tom, is that it's not raining sideways and not 14 degrees like it was last October when you were here. So
That's right.
So sorry about that. It's a beautiful day, but hopefully we can get you back out here next time.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if that's okay, John.
Yeah, fantastic. Please do that. And let's see. You're going to be talking to us today about Precision Meets Scale, the new household addressable. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. And the screen looks great. Your presentation looks good. And I won't take up any more of your time, man. Take it away.
Sure. Well, hey, everyone. My name is Tom. I lead the sales team in the Northeast quadrant of the United States. I want to give you guys just a very brief and concise background on who Simplifi is. We launched the platform 11 years ago in 2010. We've grown very rapidly, as many companies have had the good fortune of doing in the past 11 years. We're now currently around 450 employees, and we work with over 1,000 agencies, many of which are independent agencies, from tiny agencies all the way to like mid-sized agencies. And we work with the holding companies as well. Traditionally, we've been in the media buying business, so accessing media programmatically and building audiences that way. Most recently, we've expanded into the agency workflow management side of the business with an acquisition earlier this year of the Advantage software. So we're really excited about that. And I wanted to give you guys just a glimpse of what we do from a functionality standpoint. We've always been audience first as a DSP, as a programmatic platform. We've always said, hey, let's find the audience. And once we've identified them, let's serve ads to them wherever they go. And you'll see a lot of capabilities on this slide here that you might recognize from a standard DSP. And we have a few unique ones as well. I'm going to talk about at least one of them in a couple minutes. But we're really excited about the fact that as of a couple of years ago, all of the functionalities that are available programmatically using a data-driven approach are now available on the connected TV screen, which offers our clients a great deal of exciting opportunity. Some broad level trends that Simplifi is focused on. We just talked about the need for improved efficiency from a media buying perspective. We feel like we're checking that box with the Advantage software product. We're seeing a continued switch from linear TV budgets following the eyeballs to connected TV and streaming devices. So we're very focused on that. And any vendor worth their salt in 2021 is focused on the industry changes in identification and privacy and all of that. And we're also seeing just a greater need from TV buyers to apply more of a performance aspect to their campaigns and using analytics and various insights to glean insights from the campaign. But one problem I want to talk about today that we've always been focused on at Simplifi is marketing, broadly speaking, has a long history of sacrificing campaign accuracy and campaign precision for the sake of scale. And we've seen this for many decades with linear TV, from national all the way down to spot buys. Typically linear TV buys have been done on a DMA level. The targeting, might be using the content or the category of content as a proxy for the audience you're trying to reach. And there's just a lot of inefficiencies in terms of cost and rate blending. And the attribution side of it is typically panel-based, which tends to be inefficient, especially at the hyperlocal level. And if we're being honest, coming from a digital perspective, and we're a digital company, digital has not been that much better in the past, call it 15 years or so. And even with the advance of programmatic and everything that sort of comes with the promise of programmatic, which is, serving ads one-to-one and a very data-driven approach, there has been like a decades-old dependence on the commoditized world of audience segments and that plug-and-play world, which we see is a fairly inefficient play. So the industry problem, we've always been focused.
Tom, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Tom?
Yes.
Not if you can hear me. Okay, yeah, we've lost your audio, so just hold tight for a second. Want to make sure we can hear you here. We can see you great.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear you now. Go ahead and
Okay.
continue.
You can hear me now? Can you hear me?
A second, hold on, 1 sec.
Oh boy.
Tom, give it a try.
Hi, can you hear me? No?
All right, Tom, give it a try.
Hi, can you hear me?
Go for it.
Hello? No go?
Tom, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. So the industry issue that we've been laser focused on for a while now is solving hyperlocal at scale. So giving advertisers the opportunity to execute media at a very tight hyperlocal level without sacrificing accuracy or scale. So for a comparison's sake, right, a typical network or an enterprise level DSP might a buy for CTV might look like, hey, well, we've got this DMA, and the example here is sort of a small DMA, 1.2 million people. So let's apply sort of a broad segment to that DMA and buy the campaign that way. At Simplifi, we've essentially carved out all of the households in that DMA so that each household parcel actually becomes its own element within the broader geographic outline of the DMA. And we're able to see a much higher degree of bid factors and optimization factors based on the fact that every little household is its own little segment. And it's the same thing from a behavioral standpoint. A typical DSP for a CTV buy might say, hey, well, good news, we've got thousands of off-the-shelf audience segments that we can apply to the campaign to apply a behavioral overlay. And that's great because it's easy to do, it's very plug and play, but it's commoditized and everyone's using the same segments, right? And you still have a limited ability to optimize and customize that campaign because you just have the bid factors of the audience segments. At Simplifi, every piece of behavior becomes an individualized piece of data in the campaign, so we can optimize to behaviors and we can optimize to the individual households that are in that DMA. So I want to talk about the methodology. I'm just doing a quick time check. I have got a couple of minutes. So every household in the United States, and there's 126 million households in the United States. What Simplifi has done, and this took a few years of development work, was we've actually taken all 126 million addresses in the United States, and we've associated the lat-long coordinates, so the GPS coordinates of that household property based on county tax records, to a series of numbers that create a plat ID in the Simplifi system. So 123 Main Street in Toledo, Ohio, I'm just making that up, becomes a series of numbers in Simplifi platform that you can put into action for a campaign, right? And so based on Simplifi heuristics that are proprietary in nature, coupled with a lot of the industry verified identification methodologies, some of which you see on the right-hand side of the screen there, we've actually said, okay, well, we've identified all the devices that are associated with each household and each plat ID in our system. So 123 Main Street might have 8 devices, from mobile devices to connected TVs. They're all identified in that plat ID in Simplifi's platform. So there's a couple different use cases as marketers that you can do. You can say, hey, well, my advertiser that I'm planning for has a pretty robust CRM database. In that CRM is address level data. We can actually take that address level data, just like direct mail, and actually deploy a digital campaign and a CTV campaign based on those addresses. The second use case is, well, I don't have an address list, but I want to create a series of addresses that meet a number of criteria that fit into my client's target audience. So the first is first-party addressable. You simply would upload an address list into Simplifi system. And what we're seeing across the board, and we launched this product about 3 years ago, is that our match rates are consistently above 97%, which is like almost double what the industry standard with a couple of the more popular third parties is. So all of a sudden, you have the ability now to activate a digital or CTV campaign based on an address list where the match rates have historically been pretty disappointing. And the second use case is creating an address list based on a number of attributes. I talked about 126 million households. Every single household that exists has a lot of data associated with it, as verified and as collected and aggregated by the credit bureaus. So what we're doing is giving advertisers the opportunity to go in there, and whether you're a self-service buyer on our DSP or a managed service client of ours, you can go and define your audience based on all these attributes, estimate your reach by device type, by household, and execute a campaign based on a number of attributes. And I think there's about 600 current attributes, and we're rolling out a whole slew of other ones, including political data and automotive driven data. So you can actually create your own audience. We call it an all-you-can-eat buffet of demographic and behavioral attributes at the household level that you can pile on in Boolean fashion and create an audience and simply populate it into our UI in real time. You've got the bubbles that populate the map feature, and you're able to target as granular as like a zip +4. So we're solving the issue of hyperlocal without sacrificing accuracy. And I think because all of this is sort of rooted in GPS data and lat-long data, the cool thing is you can associate foot traffic from impression number 1 when you deploy a campaign with Simpli.fi, or you can measure online actions and online actions as well. So we're super excited about it. I hope you guys hope this has sparked an interest, and I'm happy to talk to anybody that wants to learn more. Thank you, guys.